Hello gamers, it's SoftKitty99 and today we're on the public test realm for the pre-patch for Shadowlands, and I thought it'd be a good idea to take a quick look at the hairstyles that we know are coming as new ones for the different races, and I thought we'd start with the Alliance side today. And let's begin with the Draenei Females. So they've actually made this simpler than I thought, because the original hairstyles are all at the beginning of the list, and then the new ones that have been added at the end, so that makes it a little bit easier to spot the new ones. So for the Draenei Females, the first new one is the bald one, which I think kind of looks a little odd for the girls, I think personally, but it's all about how you want to play your character, isn't it? And the next one is Ponytail. That's kind of pretty because you've got quite a lot of detail in the different layers there on the ponytail itself, so I quite like that one. Then pull through, so as you can see it wraps around the horns, and then you've got this very loose plait down one side. It's a very different hairstyle. We've not had one like that before, so this is a nice way to add some new stuff. So braided. So you've got braids down the side of your ponytail at both sides here, and it's kind of knotted over with the hair on the top. Quite like the detail on that ponytail as well. Then tied strands, so you've got loops of hair around the horns again, and then it loops around to use your hair as a kind of headband to tie the rest of your hair back. So I do like the way that they've gone about these styles, just to make them a little different. Then the donut bun, so you've got kind of a flick across her eyes, and then you've got this big bun. That is a huge donut bun, isn't it? Very cool. And the final one for the Draenei girls is the high bun. So you've got the hair off the face on this one, and then it's right piled on top of your head, and it's a smaller bun. It's still a big donut bun, but it's not as big as the last one, but it's a more elegant sort of evening wear style. And then you've got a plait tied around the donut to use as like a hair tie, using your own hair. For the Draenei males, the first new hairstyle is number 15. The thin braids. So you've got two plaits down the front of the head, and then straight hair at the back. Tron Mage, which is a ponytail tied high at the back of the head. Top knot, which, as you would suggest, is a high ponytail, and this is a very short ponytail, so it does look like a little tiny knot. The ponytail, so you've got the braids at the front, and then the flat hair at the bottom, and then you've got the top of the head tied over to keep the bottom back, and then in a long plait at the back. That I quite like. I think that one's my favourite so far, but of course hairstyle's very personal. Everybody's going to have a different favourite. Wild. Yeah, so you've got little bits sticking out everywhere for this one. Not quite a neat a top knot there. Does look a little wild, yeah, cool. Fan. Oh, so you've got like a big bladed piece of jewellery in the hair as a hair tie. That's quite ornate. Very ornate hair accessory there. Side swept. So you've got a piece curling over your head, and then this time we've got a lower ponytail, keeping most of your hair out of your eyes, except for the little bit that's escaped. The thick knot. So again, it's another style of top knot ponytail. So the Draenei guys are getting lots of ponytails, so you want to keep everything out of your eyes. And then short is our final one. So you've got a little bit of side sweep, but it's not a huge one, and then everything's cut quite short, so you don't need to tie it all back. So that is the Draenei Male. For the Dwarf Female, the first new one is number 22, the Headband Style. Obviously a headband. The hair's quite short there, and then the headband just keeps it out of your eyes. The Knotted, which is a long hairstyle, quite curly. And then they use the hair tied back and tied into a sort of double figure 8 knot. I'm not quite sure, is it like a Celtic knot at the back of the hair? I like this, I think that's very pretty, and I love the fact that they're using the hair to tie it all back. Deathhawk, which is a variation of the mohawk, so it's longer at the front and shorter at the back, and then of course is all shaved off at both sides. That's a very statement hairdo. The Shield Maiden, which actually does look a lot like you would expect it to from traditional Shield Maiden kind of pictures and things, and that is a really interesting, very intricate hairdo with lots and lots of layers and different textures in the hair, isn't it? So you've kind of got dreadlocks, you've got plaits, you've got smooth here. There's a lot of texture in that. That's very intricate, I really like that. And then of course bald. Most of the racers that didn't already have a bald option are given a bald option in these new customisations. The Dwarf Males get 3 new hairstyles, the first one being number 20, the Berserker, which is kind of a mohawk style, and it's layered because you've got shorter at the side and then thicker in the middle. Then the bald tail, so most of the head is shaved with just a small patch where you've got a ponytail growing from it, all tied back out of the way. And the final one is the side braids. So you've got a fuller head of hair here, and then at one side you've got a couple of plaits to add a little bit of decoration and individuality to the hair. The Gnome Girls start at number 15 with the flipped hair. So our small girls get lots of big hair. It's actually kind of cool. It's got a double layer to the pointy bits, look, so it's actually quite cute. And the next one is the donut bun. So you've got quite short hair at the front, and then at the back you've got this huge like floret donut bun. For such small characters they usually have great big hair, don't they? I think that's quite fun. And then the bald option, as I said, a lot of the racers that didn't already have a bald option are getting one in these new customization options. Then 18 is bed head, so I think that's maybe a little bit too neat to be hair that comes straight out of the bed. Should be a bit more flat. There's too much volume to it to be real bed head. But I kind of guess the idea, because it's a bit of a messy style, but it does look a little bit too organised to actually be bed head. Then curls. They've done some lovely textures on some of the fluffy curl styles this time. I really like that. I think that's very nice. And then the final one is the chibi, so it's kind of anime styled or inspired type of hair for this. You've got the big double pigtails, which is very, very characteristic and iconic for the gnomes, and then we've added an extra like pair of horns to it. I like that, I really like that. I think I can see me using that on one of my characters. For the gnome boys, we want to start at number 16, so we've got 3 new hairstyles. First one here is Mayhem, and it really is mayhem. It's stuck up absolutely everywhere, like he's just run his hands through it and made it stand as tall as it possibly could. Are you trying to add a few inches there, my friend? I do actually quite like that, to be honest. Then Hedgehog. So I'm expecting Spark. Oh yeah, look, it's Sonic the Hedgehog. It is, it's Sonic. Hey Sonic. And then parted. So you've got a side parting, and again it's quite a spiky style. So the guys have got 3 spiky styles of hair. The human females have 9 new hairstyles, and we want to start at number 25 with slicked back, which is exactly what it says on the tin. The hair's just all slicked back, very flat and sleek. Then the bald option, which has been added to most of the races. The Afro, I really like this one. I love the texture on it, I think that's really cool. And I love the little bits that stick up, the little details that have escaped. The Afro puff, this I really like as well. The nicely flattened base and then this big riotous curling mass. Like that, I really like that. Cornrows, this one looks super painful to me. These gaps are so big. Imagine trying to get your hair that tight, that must be so painful. Very unique look of the hair though. The dreadlocks. It's a really nice texture there with the knot there made from the hair itself. And you've got no dangly bits on one side, and then you've got these 2 little danglers here. It's just that little bit of nice detail added there, isn't it? Then long, so we've got a very sleek hairstyle, and it's longer at the front, look, and it's cut in a shallow inverted V, to the back being a little bit shorter. The ox horns, again this is like a sort of semi-anime styled, or inspired style. I like that, very nice. And the pixie, so you've got the short hair with a little flick at the front, look, lots of different layers. There's a layer here and a layer there, and then at the base, very neatly cut and feathered that. And the final one is the side parting. So again it's kind of a slight inverted V with the shape, with it being a little bit longer at the front. And you've got a little bit of a double layer there, and then the short section here, look, with a little plait in it. All those nice little details. For the human boys, we start at number 18 with Mentor. So you've got a bald patch at the front, so you're kind of thinking it's a slightly older person as a mentor, with a big ponytail and then the long length at the back. Then the bust, which is kind of a short soldier, and it's kind of got the afro texture to it, so you want some nice short, easy to take care of hair. The dreadlocks, so this is the male version of the dreadlocks. Again, you're using their own hair to tie it all together. And again you've got a couple kind of coming around one side to add that little bit of texture to the hairstyle. The cornrows again, and again it looks so tight. The gaps are not quite as wide as they were on the girls one though, so this one doesn't look quite as painful. And it's tied in a knot at the back to keep it out of the way. Curls, so here you've got the short at the back and then a bit more length on the top, but it's still quite short, will fit quite well under your helmet. The quiff, so again it's all pushed to the back of the head, but you've got all the layering here, and then you've got a little bit of a flick at the front and a couple of little tufts at the side. The prince, so I presume this is inspired by Anduin's hair. So you've got kind of curled texture in some layer and lots of layers down the side there. The wizard, so you've got the longer hair, and again it's all pushed back. And again you've got texture in layer, but there you've got a lot more length into the hair. And the final one is bangs, which does get a little bit in your eyes around the front. And again, it's very layered and textured. So a lot of the guy's hair is very, very layered and very textured with the way that it's cut there. So that's quite a nice selection of hairstyles for the human males that's been added. For the Night Elf females, we start at number 15, the Pixie, which again is a beautifully multi-layered cut in the short style with a nice big flick of a fringe here. Very nice texturing on that at the back there. Then the bald option, the bob, so you've got quite long length framing the face here, and it's cut in almost an oval around the face. And then you've got the inverted V with the greater length at the front and then the shorter at the back, but all the hair is one length around your head. It's a very cute short style, that one. The top knot, so you've got a bit of length in front and then it's all piled up on the top of the hair with a big plait wrapped around to raise the top knot up. And you've got those little bits escaping it, look here. I really like that texturing. And then it's all one length again down the back. None of that feathering, all one length. The sombre inspired hairstyle with a big flick at the front here. All one length along this side. And then you've got the double plaits pushing all the hair to one side of your head around here, and you just wrap it around the shoulder. So you've got the full length all the way around your hair, but the way it's styled it just pushes it all over to one side. It's a very neat style, that one. And then the Shaggy, which is your fluffy curly version for the Night Elves. You've got a lot of volume on your hair at the back here, look, with the long full volume length here underneath, and then a great big ponytail on top as well. I think that one is my favourite for the Night Elf ones. Really like that one. The Night Elf boys get 5 new styles, the first one being the bald option. Then the undercut, and all of these you can have with the leaves or without the leaves. So here you've got the full volume of the hair on one side, and then it's all pushed off to one side and shaved at one side here, so that's the undercut version. The bun, so all the hair is pulled back from the face and tied into a top knot bun. That way they can keep the length but keep it out of their eyes while they're fighting. The flipped version, so if you want your longer hair, you can flick it away from one side of your face, push it all off to one side and back, and you've got the fuller length in the back there. And the final one is the bald tail, so what you do is you shave the hair at both sides just to leave a strip down the top of the head, and then at the back you tie it into this long ponytail and add multiple bands around it to make it long and thick but all neatly bunched together, so you can keep the volume but you keep it well out of the way, keep it more under control. So that's the Night Elf male new hairstyles. The Pandaren females get 3 new hairstyles. Number 18 is the first one, the Flame. So it's like you've got a great big flame on top of your head because you've pulled all the hair right up on top of your head and made it stand up nice and tall. Then the Headband Style, so you've got this Pandaren themed headband across the top of your head to push all your hair away from your face, and even though you've got a few bits of escape to get around the front, and then it's all tied back using the headband to keep it out of your way. And the last one is the parted style, so you've got a parting in the middle and you've got it flicked to both sides, and it's longer in one side and it's quite short all the way at the back. The Pandora males also have 3 new hairstyles. The first is the headband. This time it's a folded cloth that's being used as a headband, and then the hair stands very straight up on top, all spiky. The foxtail, which is a big ponytail from the top of the head. And the Hanzo inspired style with a very tall sticky up top knot and a full length of hair in the back. For the Worgens, although the Worgen side doesn't get any new hairstyles, the human side can now be customised separately to the Worgen side, and now that means that you can have any of the hairstyles that the humans have. So all of the old ones and the new ones have all been added to the human customisation side for your Worgen, and this happens on both the girls and the boys side. And finally, for all of the allied races, for any of the races that didn't already have a bald option, they now have the bald option added for both the girls and the boys. So if you ever had a hankering to be bald as an allied race, you now can be. Hope that you've enjoyed today's episode. Please don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. From SoftKitty99, goodbye and happy gaming!